Hi everyone, this is Dr. Houck, your instructor for Religions of the World. This is usually something I'm able to do on the first day of class in a regular class. Of course, this is an online course and I won't be seeing you unless you stop by my office. But there's just a few things I thought I could probably pass on to you so that you get off on the right foot and just generally kind of help you out with the course, give you a few hints, a few suggestions, so that this isn't anything formal. I have all the formal videos already loaded on the site, and there's some introductory videos in Module 1. But anyway, I thought this would be a good idea to kind of get you started on the right foot. So I'm going to cover just a couple of things here. First, this is an anthropology of religions course, right? So it's not theology, which is more or less a focused study of Christian teachings. And of course we have Dr. Whidden here and Dr. Vanderwall. Of course, Dr. Vanderwall is retiring, who teaches theology, and they both do a great job, very popular courses. But this is not theology. In other words, we're not going to pre-bias any one religion over the others. The anthropology of religion is a scholarly / academic approach to the study of religions. And that makes it very different from what people usually think of when they think of religion or religious studies. And so what we're talking about here is, for example, cultural relativism. Cultural relativism is the idea that no one culture or religion serves as the standard by which others are judged. Anthropology embraces that notion. In fact, there's no judging done at all. In other words, anthropology is not normative. It's descriptive, it's comparative, but we engage in a study of, for example, Hinduism, just so we can learn about Hinduism. We're not concerned how it may or may not compare or stack up to Christianity or Islam or whatever. We're not concerned about the truth or falsity of religious claims, the majority of which are not falsifiable anyway. So even to argue about them is pointless and futile. The approach would also be considered somewhat agnostic. Agnosticism is just the position that neither accepts nor rejects the notion of a God or gods, because again, we're not in the business of making normative judgments. You know, we let the theologians and the believers deal with that. The anthropology of religion is global in that all religions are considered to be worthy cultural endeavors, and they basically serve to characterize the people of a particular place, speaking a particular language with a particular history. And in fact, there are about 10,500 different religions at last count. So a global perspective is necessary to understand what some anthropologists call homo religiosus, humankind as religious beings. Another point here I'd like to make is that the traditional understanding, or we might say the believer's understanding of a particular religion, will often be very different from the scholarly understanding of a particular religion. You're going to see that over and over and over again, particularly in regard to Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity. The problem or disconnect here occurs because the traditional view or understanding basically originated a very long time ago and was passed down through time and changed a bit through time and basically becomes somewhat mythological and legendary because there's no fact-checking, quote-unquote, that's done. And there's also a lot of cheerleading that's done, as you might guess, for the various religions. But then scholars come along, and this became popular probably around the 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries, and obviously is still popular. But scholars come along and started asking questions, very good questions. Is it correct? Is the traditional view correct? Can it be substantiated by history? archaeology, etc., linguistics. And so scholars bring to bear all the tools of those disciplines: history, archaeology, linguistics, anthropology, sociology. And often what they find differs greatly from the traditional understanding of a particular religion. And you're going to see that from time to time. So all I can ask you to do is to keep yourself open to scholarly critique. Because remember, any idea or any hypothesis should be judged on the merit of that hypothesis, on the quality of the data and the documentation and the reasoning brought to bear on the issue. And then I guess the second big problem here, or disconnect between the traditional view and the scholarly view, is that one tends to be faith-based and the other tends to be data-based. And you're going to see that's going to be a problem that's going to crop up in the various religions as well. Okay, well, there's more to be said on that, and I get into these issues a bit more in Module 1. But for now, let's move on to some issues regarding the course and what you might do to improve your performance and end up with a good grade in the course. First, writing assignments. There's a lot of information regarding writing assignments on the Moodle site and on the syllabus, but I thought I would just give you a few hints, a few suggestions. First, I can tell if you haven't watched the videos and haven't done the readings, because the questions are designed such that your knowledge of what's in the videos and what's in the readings will come through. So there's that. Secondly, in a couple of places in your materials it says that in regard to your writing assignments, one full meaty page should be considered the barest minimum. So please use it as your guide. And it's not that I'm just requiring you to write a bunch of stuff. That's not the point. What's happening here is that the questions are, the complexity of the questions will require you to write at least a page or more to fully cover everything that you're being asked to do. Please pay attention to formatting. Times New Roman, 12-point, double space. So please do that for me. Please do not forget to put your name on your paper. I will be grading grammar, spelling, formatting. The reason why, I know this is not an English class, but please understand that grammar affects comprehension on the part of the reader. So in other words, if the paper is not well written and there are grammatical errors, even spelling errors, it may be difficult for me to understand exactly what it is you're trying to say. Okay, so there are comprehension issues. So that's part of your grade on your assignments, will be what I call a style grade. And then there's also a content grade as well. And that's, of course, what you have to say about the issue. And also, too, please note that there was one other thing I wanted to say about that. Yes, please make sure that you specifically address the question that is asked. It's kind of amazing how often I will have students write an interesting passage on something, an interesting paper on something, but yet they didn't actually address the question asked. So please read the question carefully and structure your answer based on the question asked. Use paragraph indents when you change topics. You will definitely want to sit down with the syllabus and with the Moodle page open and plan out your strategy, so to speak, for the semester. This is an 8-week course, so it moves twice as fast. There's a fair amount of reading. So, like for example, you're going to be reading The Tao of Pooh, which, by the way, is just a little paperback. You can finish it in a couple afternoons. But then you'll be reading 3 or 4 chapters out of the book called The Buddha. And then, of course, I think there's a chapter reading and assorted readings for every module. So you'll definitely want to sit down, maybe with a calendar, and sort of plan out your strategy. Note all the due dates, note when the paper's due, note when the exams are going to be ready for you, etc. I would highly suggest you do that. And also, too, please order your books now so you don't get behind. Please note due dates. There's a very severe penalty for being late, so you do not want to needlessly lose points that way. Okay, so I guess I covered about everything I wanted to cover here. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to write me. Come by my office. I'm in the Liberal Arts Building, 104G. And good luck with the semester.